Hi, Chief Meteorologist Derek and Kate back here with you. Once again, right off County Line Road in Stewart County. We are inside the home of Winston and Julie Morrison. This home hit by an EF2 tornado, the same tornado that hit Eufaula, tracked across the river and tracked through Stewart County. I was going to walk you through the house here and show you what's going on. We're in the kitchen and dining room area now. The roof is gone. It's all open air through here, and you can see there's numerous things that have been blown around. They've also started the cleanup process as well around here. But we'll walk you back into the living room here. You can actually see behind me where the roof has caved in into a little bit of a V point right here. And this is not a room we ever suggest people to be in. We want people in a much smaller room because of this very thing. If you look over here, you can see the doors, the front doors, the glass has been blown out. That glass flying around inside the house, outside the house. That's why we want you in a room that doesn't have any windows, that doesn't have that glass. Now, if you follow me through here, we'll be careful ducking under some of the wood that's fallen down from the ceiling. This was the safe place for the Morrisons. This hallway, this little enclosure right here, they gathered in here with their 3 dogs, bent down, hunkered down. They said they had pillows and blankets and things all around them, and this is where they rode out the tornado. During the storm, this door flies open. As it was flying open, they thought the door flew away, but they could see the rush of the winds and feel the air pressure change from the outside. And if you look up, I don't know if we can get a shot of this, but this is where the roof started to peel off of this little room. But it didn't, thankfully. One of the only places in the house where the roof was actually still attached. So an interior room, a small room, the lowest floor of your building, near the center of that house and away from windows, always your best bet in a tornado. Even though you can see the destruction all around them, the family survived without a scratch. The 3 dogs fine as well. And I think the Weather Service in Birmingham is going to make a decision very soon on whether or not to extend that warning into Lee County, as we talked about. Beauregard, you would be directly in the path of this. Now, so this is North Columbus, and this is Southern Harris County. So this is south of Hamilton. This is places like Catawba. This is Ellerslie again. This is Waverly Hall again. We're calling out your names again. This is a new warning. This is anywhere on Interstate 185 from, say, the Smith Road exit, exit 14, all the way up to exit 25, which takes you over to Hamilton. Hunter's Pub, you're right here. This is just south of you guys. Southern Harris County, northern Muskogee County. This is anywhere north of exit 6, north of Macon Road exit. We want you in a safe place immediately. This is going to miss Midtown. This is going to miss most of Uptown, we believe. The radar is looking at it, and the radar can tell the difference between what's a raindrop, what's a hailstone, and what's a piece of tornadic debris. And that's what we're looking at here. So that's why the Weather Service is able to confirm there it is. If you're coming out of Glenville and Pittsview, or if you're coming north out of Eufaula, that stretch of 431 should be abandoned right now. Folks should be off the road, inside a building somewhere safe. Well, when we were able to get in yesterday, we saw too some of the, they had set up the orange road cones where they had different roads blocked off, and we saw when we were leaving yesterday the American flags lining all of those cones, and there were signs that were welcoming the president with his visit. So we had an idea last night that's probably an area that the president was going to be able to be on the ground and to see firsthand some of that damage.
Here is meteorologist Derek Kincaid.
Hi, Chief Meteorologist Derek Kincaid back here with you again off of Lee County Road 39. We're in the Beauregard community, one of the areas we're calling again ground zero for this devastating tornado in Lee County on Sunday that was on the ground eventually for more than 70 miles. But here is where it gathered most of the strength. Now, we've kind of gotten back away from the road. We're kind of in the middle of some of the worst damage this storm had to offer. I'll show you this. Whenever you see something like this, we've got children's toys scattered around, baby dolls, stuffed animals. I mean, it really touches your heart to know that that was a part of someone's home, that was a part of someone's room, and the contents of that are now scattered across, well, who knows how many miles. In some cases, we've had debris from this tornado that we've actually found, or folks have actually found, 20, 30, 40 miles away from where it was first taken up into the storm. I'm going to walk with you here, and we've got to be very careful here where we're walking. Again, some of this stuff has not been secured yet. You see that right there. But I wanted to show you this truck. I mean, look at the damage to this thing. We always talk about in a tornado, when we want folks to be in a safe place, we say you have to get out of mobile homes and you have to get out of cars, you have to get out of trucks. and this is why. The wind can get up under here. It can actually cause things to flip over. This truck looks like it was pushed this way at a fairly high rate of speed. It actually crashed into this tree that you see here, and the windshield's broken out. All the glass is gone, and again, just not a place where we want you to be to stay safe in a tornado. We want you inside that small room, the lowest floor of whatever building that you're in, away from windows, with as many walls between you and that tornado as possible. Now, as we get ready for Sunday, there is a chance we have some more severe weather to talk about. And let's get to the graphics. We'll show you those weather headlines out there as we break down the next couple of days.
Chief Meteorologist Derek Kincaid is here with us. He's down on the beach, and he has more on our forecast here today, and then to next week when folks may be down here for spring break. Derek?
That's right, guys. You know, out here today, the weather fantastic. We had great weather yesterday, too. But my advice, bring a jacket if you're coming down. It is chilly, as you guys mentioned, when that sun goes down and when you factor in some of that wind as well. But you may only need the umbrella maybe once or even twice around here for the next week or so. That's the good news. Let's show that to you. We'll pull up the graphic for the next 7 days here in Panama City. We've got a dry weekend coming up this time around, but rain chances Monday into Tuesday. Beyond that, I think Wednesday, Thursday, and most of Friday looking fairly dry here on the coast. But what about local weather? Let's talk about that. Temperatures right now in the 60s and 70s across the Chattahoochee Valley. Auburn 68, Columbus at 71. The skies mostly sunny really all over Alabama and Georgia. Fantastic news if you have any plans out and about on this Friday night. Your evening forecast looking good, and as we've mentioned, the weather for the weekend looking phenomenal as well. We're going to bring you that coming up a bit later in the show. But you know, one thing we always think about and we always talk about when people come down here to the beach is safety in the water. Did you know that last year there were more than 24 drownings due to rip currents in Georgia and Alabama? We want that number at 0 this year. And earlier in the week, we caught up with somebody who actually works the beaches here that determines which flags to fly that folks have to look at to determine what the water is going to be like. Here's what he had to say about folks being safe in the water.
Believe it or not, most rip current issues and accidents occur within about 30 feet of the shoreline.
Mark Myra has been patrolling Panama City beaches for years.
Now, from your Storm Team 9 Alert Center, WTVM Chief Meteorologist Derek Kincaid.
The weekend is here, and if you're hitting the woods or the area lakes, here's a check of fish and game activity through the day tomorrow. Good news there for you around 6, 7 a.m., also around 1:40 in the afternoon. A peek up there into the excellent range. But will the weather be excellent for you on Saturday? We think early in the morning hours, 40s. Slim chance at a few sprinkles there during the first part of our day. A bit breezy as well. Then as we get through the afternoon hours, we're up there in the low 60s. Plenty of sun. No big issues with rain this weekend, but boy, it has been wet lately. We were crunching some of the numbers from 2018. It ended up being the 6th wettest year of all time here in the Fountain City. Number 1 on that list, we had more than 80 inches of rain back in 2009. That was a year that helped us really get out of the drought that we had been in for a few years prior. But again, 2018, 66.43 inches of rain in the bucket. Now, we don't expect additional rain tonight other than, as we mentioned, a few sprinkles that could be moving through. But you'll notice the clouds. Those are going to be moving back in. This storm system still spinning away to our north. Once this gets out of here, we're going to tap into some of that drier air behind it. That's going to set the stage for a great weekend. Mostly 40s across the valley now. The cooler weather is in the process of moving in, and finally the rain moving out. Over the next 7 days, we expect most spots to stay dry. Little hiccup there on Tuesday, maybe a slim chance at a few showers, but most, again, will not have to worry about rain. Now, if you're prone to those aches and pains when the weather changes, a heads up for you over the course of the next few days as we kind of vary up and down a bit with the air pressure. Some of those headaches and body aches might be kicking in late into the weekend, maybe even into the first part of next week as well. Here's how the weather shapes up for us tonight. In 40s for lows, the sky staying mostly cloudy, then getting into the day tomorrow, upper 50s, low 60s, breezy but sunny. And over in Auburn and Opelika, they'll look for lows tonight in the 40s as well, with highs in the afternoon hours, likely in the upper 50s over in East Alabama. And also for the big game, Alabama and Clemson on Monday. The weekend weather for folks out there not looking great, but once you head into Monday, conditions start the process of drying out a bit. So good news for folks out there. Kickoff temperature at 54 degrees. The rain coverage about 10% or so. Over the next 9 days, again, a really nice forecast through next week. Our next decent chances for rain coming our way as we get ready for Saturday of next week. We'll put the coverage around 40%, but I think the best news to talk about, an extended stretch of dry weather, some time for us to dry out after a few wet days, Ross.
Absolutely. I'm excited, ready to enjoy the weekend. Of course, great to hear about the weather for the game as well.
Yeah, good news there. Again, weekend not looking great out there, but
Yeah.
Monday, just in time for the game, weather looks good.
Sounds perfect. All right. Thank you, Derek.